relevance and relatability. I think maybe particularly for small to medium-sized campaigns, accepting that you don't have to go out and target that broader market and kind of focusing on a core segment of your customers and nailing that approach, especially when you get it in a way that feels like, okay, these guys are clearly targeting me, but it's working.
The thing I'm on at the moment is about an underlying truth. Brands not just thinking about how they see the market, what they think is right about what their audience thinks, feels, but there's like an actual underlying truth that their campaign is built around, and that's exactly what's going to resonate with the audience. They just show a clear understanding of what challenges their audience really have, what's really true about them and their market as well. So that is what a good campaign is built on. A great campaign is built on.
Memorability. That's all I have to say.
Yes!
I love humour in advertising, but not in a cringe way. I love Specsavers, for example. They're unapologetically British in their approach, and I think that works really well.
The great ones often stick in your memory for one reason or another, because it's something that you remember, you find funny, it's emotional, but I think it's when it combines like something that's niche to your organisation or your company with something that's really culturally relevant, kind of combining those two things.
Being overly annoying and pushy.
This is particularly true for big brands, but when they try and tie in a relevant product into promoting social alignment or like good moral compass, that just backfires nowadays. I think people are too switched on to virtue signalling, and so one for me that springs to mind is the Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad is the obvious example of that.
I think what often goes wrong with the campaign is that the people creating the campaign aren't in touch with those that are going to be receiving it, actually understanding how this will be received by the individuals that are creating it.
If it's not built on quality research or a clear understanding of who it is you're talking to, you're just building it off of an opinion rather than fact, and it's unlikely that the message that you put out is going to resonate strongly. That's the thing most campaigns get wrong.
So I think where campaigns go wrong is when in the creation process it doesn't have enough viewpoints from different people with different life experiences that might understand better how that will be received by different individuals.
And Old But Gold, the Phil Collins In the Air Tonight Cadbury's Gorilla advert. It just plays on the heartstrings a bit. So as a kid, it was more so the gorilla that pulled me in, and as I've got older, it's the song that plays on my heartstrings.
A recent campaign that I've seen is Argos, their campaign for There's More to Argos. Millennials right now probably look at Argos as only being about toys. Argos was like the Bible for Christmas. So they're running this campaign to position themselves as, no, we're not just toys, we do so much more. And I think that campaign is built on that truth, that people do actually see Argos as a place to go and buy toys.
I like Cake, which is the Skoda Fabia TV display ad. It came out at a time when Skoda were a perception of being a bit of a naff car. Built this car out of cake in a beautifully shot ad, kind of showed the care and quintessentialness of the Skoda. And then they came back 6 years later and did the same concept, almost called back to that original ad with the new RS version, a sportier model of the Fabia, which was the most badass thing ever. You know, spanning 6 years of advertising and campaigns and brand was really, really cool and effective.
Probably the Ben & Jerry's one, when they started bringing out new stores across the US. They offered everyone a free cup of ice cream on the opening day. A, allowed people to see how good their ice cream was. B, made sure that everyone was talking about Ben & Jerry's. And C, it made sure everyone knew where the store was. Basically done your job off the get-go.
I think it would work well amongst the noise of other adverts, not the song. I think the song would be the most important thing about it. That would need to be picked, that would need to be chosen wisely.
Yes, because it does still run. And likely because it's trying to change people's perceptions and people's beliefs around the brand, it's going to take a long time. It will have a lifetime on it, because eventually people's perceptions and their minds will change around what Argos is, and therefore they can move away from that.
Because the campaign, the original V1 of that, was so successful, they were able to use that whole concept 6 years later, which is, you know, everything you can really ask for from an advertising perspective.
Depends on the weather. But yes, in theory, the idea around making sure people know what you do, if you're good at it or not, and where to find it is the basics, and they just did it in a really good, intelligent way.
Work hard to unearth that underlying truth that you want to build your campaign around. It will make your campaign work a lot harder in the long run. Don't feel like you need to change your campaign too often, too quickly. Just let it run. If it's still having an impact, if it's still working, don't feel the need to change just because you're getting a bit bored of the creative and the message.
If you know you've got a product that isn't a category competitor, kind of own it. With the Skoda, they knew that they weren't a category competitor, so they built a strategy for, well, how do we change the perception of the brand rather than how do we promote the new model of our car? And I think that's what was effective here.
The audience that you're trying to target with a campaign, start involving more people that would potentially be in that audience in the process of creating curation and deciding what that campaign should look like, because they're the ones that will really understand if it will land or if it won't.
I think it's about taking risks and standing out from the crowd and just doing something that no one else does.
Peace.